Welcome back for another video. 60 points in the first game week. A little bit underwhelming with no returns on the bench. Though you could argue that Bruggen wouldn't have been in the team if not for the bench boost, so it was nice to have him keep the clean sheet for 6. Like on a no bench boost setup, it definitely would have been Kinski and Dubravka as the keeper pair. Hume actually created 2 big chances. No one created more in game week 2, so that was a bit unfortunate. Calvert-Lewin with the yellow card as well, he came away with 1 point. Friday night couldn't have started much better with assists from Calafiori, White and Zolis. I just wish I'd gone no Haaland instead of no João Pedro now in hindsight. But it is worth also mentioning, no João Pedro funded White, who actually matched him with 11 points. Probably was the letdown basically with that blank against Ipswich. A return from him and the no João Pedro experiment would have been a success in game week 1. Let's see how the next 2 game weeks go before the wild card. It could end up being worse, let's see how it goes. Although it feels a little bit underwhelming, I did have to remind myself, it's actually a much better game week 1 than I had last year when I ended up 25k. I was still over 5 million after 5 game weeks last year and pulled it back. I was even top 10k for a while. The year before was also a far worse start than this one and ended up 3k. So it's a long season and the opening weeks really don't matter. Eric got 38 points in game week 1 last year and he won FPL. But yeah, Bruno and Haaland blanked, which was quite a shock. Zobbo with a very late penalty against Newcastle and he earned himself a bonus point for that. Brighton actually had a Stonewall penalty not given. They were 4-0 up at that point, so I don't know if the ref was showing sympathy or something, but a pen is a pen and it probably would have been gross taken. Anyway, let's have a look at how you all got on in game week 1. Pricey up first, he says, I'll go on them. And he had a dream game week 1 with 93 points all out. He bench boosted De Kuiper and he finished on 93 with a starting rank of 6k overall. Unbelievable. And he's used my new live rank tool, so bonus points for that. It has put a smile on my face seeing how many have already used the new live rank tool, by the way. So thank you for using it if you have. It's on the app along the bottom menu or fpl.page/rank. I've just finished making all of the home and away kits and keeper kits for 26-27, so they'll be in there for game week 2 as well. Football Research FC had a disaster game week 1 with everyone blanking besides Gabriel and McBurney who got 5 points. Really unlucky because it's not a bad team. Just had that really unlucky combination of players that blanked. Simeone says 99 points. Another De Kuiper owner. Also got returns from Pickford, Calafiori, Zobbo, Zolis, and Dye, João Pedro, Havertz, Rogers and Aya. Crazy score. So did anyone manage to beat that? We've got one. FPL Sensei with one of the greatest game week 1s I've ever seen. Definitely the best that we've had on the channel in game week 1. He says 107 point bench boost, 238th in the world. Look at this bench. De Kuiper, Sangare, Barry, Sherpen. 41 points bench boosted. Absolutely disgusting. Fair play. Right, let's move on and let's go through the team and plans for game week 2. By the way, Scout are currently doing £5 off, which is auto applied when you check out. So go to the link down below to become a Fantasy Football Scout member. It's my 9th year as a member myself. Can't recommend them enough. So in goal, Kinski comes into the starting 11. Not an encouraging game week 1 by Spurs, was it? They conceded more XG than anyone, and Brentford absolutely battered them. I was impressed by Newcastle as well against Liverpool, which is who Spurs are playing home next. Hopefully they have Van de Ven and Porro back in the team for next one. Savinho looks set to come straight into the team for his debut. In defence, it's Calafiori, Maguire and White. So, pulling up the Game Week 2 clean sheet odds, we've got Man United and Arsenal joint top, 42%. Liverpool 38%, Man City 36%. Commentary in 5th, by the way, so that's good news if you're on the bench boost, albeit 34%. So, obviously, about a 1 in 3 chance of a clean sheet there. Kinski's on a 25% chance this week. Still no sign of Timber in training just yet, so I'm glad to have White to push for that upside, like in Game Week 1. They're playing a pretty bare bones Villa side as well. Obviously Watkins not in the squad last match. Looks like that might be the same situation again, having reportedly agreed terms to leave Villa. So it's potentially the ideal time for this fixture for Arsenal, because I do think once Villa get themselves sorted and get going, they're going to be a tough team to face. Perhaps it'll be Hemmings and Maatsen down the left side for them again, which could get a lot of joy for the likes of White, Ødegaard and Saka down there. I can't quite believe how poor Man United looked against newly promoted Hull. But this does remain a great fixture for Man United, Ipswich home next, even though they won a Game Week 1. Happy to be tripled up on this one. Things can change very fast in FPL. I'm expecting a big response from Man United and it is a home game at Old Trafford. So Sangare and De Kuiper this season's first price rises last night, Calafiori potentially rising tonight. In case you missed it, price changes happen at midnight now every night UK time. My new price changes tool off to a good start. It had them both rising and also had Martinelli and Gyökeres fallen, which did happen. It does use official FPL prediction data, so it won't be wrong, but for some reason, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the official predictor doesn't have a predicted percent column, which the original screenshots they shared did have. And that's the crucial column, because you want to see where a player's going to go later, whether they'll rise or fall. So I had to manually fix that, and I've added that in as well, so you can see where a player's going to end up by the time we get to the midnight cutoff. There's some other weird quirks with the official one that I've had to fix as well, so fpl.page/prices or in the FPL Focal app if you want to check who's going up and down every night. In midfield, it's Mbeumo, Bruno, Zobo and Zolis. Ipswich and Forest have had to play midweek in the League Cup as well, while these guys have all got the midweek off. So Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal not playing. So definitely keeping the patience in the Man United duo. And then I'll make a call in Game Week 3 whether to pivot one of those to a Man City mid for that Coventry home game, or just leave it as it is when they've got Everton away. I'm interested to see what Cherki's minutes are like this game week. Like maybe he'll start in right wing. He was just too good off the bench to leave out. He changed the game off the bench with the 2 assists. And it looks like Zobo just became one of the more obvious picks in the game after taking that penalty against Newcastle. Every dead ball has got Zobo standing over it, free kicks, corners, pens. I do think based on game state there's still a chance that he shares duties with Isak. I was talking about it a bit in the transfer plans video. He was up against his old team, Isak. He was getting booed every time he touched the ball, he didn't have the best game, and obviously pens require a lot of confidence, and his might not have been that high during the game. Zobo's pen record is crazy. He's taken 23. He's gone to the left every time. He's never had one saved. He's missed twice out of 23, but neither of those were saved. A late call was made during the deadline stream to pick Zolis up following the news that Martinelli wasn't even going to be in the squad again for Arsenal. And this to me just really added to Zolis' appeal. It felt like Martinelli was definitely leaving after that news, and now it looks very likely to happen. And then in my head I was thinking, who could they even bring in that would potentially even start ahead of him? I don't see it in the opening 3 game weeks before wildcarding at least. It was Ballard and Ndiaye who left the team for Hume and Zolis. Obviously Ballard got 0 and Ndiaye got 9, so it ended up basically the same difference. Let's see what happens before the window closes. Like maybe Eze is going to be the main left wing competition this season. Maybe they'll sign someone in January instead. And obviously Madueke can cover left wing as well. But it really would make Zolis so good for 6.5 more if they don't bring in another left winger. And I'm going with Bruno captain again this week. After that blank, I was thinking to myself, this is before the Man City game, it could be a really tricky one if Haaland now smashes it against Bournemouth, because my plan was always to captain Bruno. Obviously Haaland ended up blanking as well, so I'm sticking to the plan, Bruno captain. The captain tool does have Bruno top this week on 5 stars, Haaland on 4, so they are both valid choices. And up front it's Brobby, DCL and Haaland. So Palace set to have Riyadh sidelined for a while as well. Beaten 2-0 on Game Week 1. It sounds like Sarr now wants to leave as well. Just, I don't know, it seems like there's a bit of a turmoil there and it could be a good game for City. It was looking a bit daft going no João Pedro. I just really fancy Brobby and White to go toe-to-toe with João Pedro and a 4.5mm defender. Obviously, it really depends on the 4.5mm defender because Rodon and Aya, for example, did well, but Hume blanked. Kadioglu wasn't in the Brighton squad in the end. It's going to come down to these next 2 game weeks. Like if White keeps another clean sheet, Brobby scores, then you never know, it could work out. But currently regretting not going full template with João Pedro. The projected goal odds have got Man United top for Game Week 2 on 2.3 goals, Liverpool 2.2, Arsenal Man City 2.0 goals, then it's Chelsea 1.9, Coventry 1.8. So finishing up with the bench quickly and transfer plan. So it's for Bruggen, Hume, Gross and Diop. So Hume and Gross both great depth this week, just in case needed, but hopefully not. This can be a week where the Haaland drafts pull it back a bit. It looks like the no Haaland drafts got off to a really good start in Game Week 1 after his blank, especially if you had the likes of Palmer instead using that money. But it looks like no Haaland teams have got some really rough benching headaches this week, because obviously all that extra money has allowed them to spread the money around and have a stacked Game Week 1 bench boost. But then this week, you've got players like Calvert-Lewin and Dye on benches. So Haaland does need to bang as well. I can't emphasise that enough. We need Haaland to come good here. So as far as transfer plans, the team absolutely doesn't need a transfer this week. So the plan is to roll. And that takes me up to 2 free transfers in Game Week 3. Where the plan is to either roll one more time before wildcarding. Or use 1 transfer to bring in a City player. Like if Cherki or Foden impress in Game Week 2, then I think either of those in for Mbeumo looks quite nice. Bruno to Semenyo also an option. Maybe a bit less keen on that, but Might be persuaded if Semenyo looks electric. Maybe an Arsenal defender coming in for Vardiol, because obviously Arsenal are home to Chelsea Game Week 3. So there's a few options, but I'll take a view on that next week, depending on what we see this weekend. Hit subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's experts video, last video of this week. Click the link below to get that £5 off discount on Scout as well. I'll see you soon for the next one.